All right, guys, welcome back after our break. Let's quickly move on to some application sums. Remember, with application sums, we normally have a lot of info, so you must extract the correct information right and apply that. So at number 1, we are saying, your uncle moved to the United States of America, the USA, in October 1968 to live the American dream. On August 30th, 1991, he decided to move back to South Africa. So the question at hand, for how long, rounded to the closest year, did he live in the USA? So basically, if I look at this, from 30th October 1968 up until 30th of October 1990, remember I can't go a full year because October 1991 is too far. So if I type that in, so 1990 minus 1968, I get 22 years. So that's the first part of it all, right? So at this moment in time, we're here. So from 30th of October, 1990, up until the 30th of August, as indicated there, here on top, 1991. If I count that, I will come, and please don't be shy, you can even use your fingers, your two hands, you will come to 11 months. All right, so now all in all, if I look, it says for how long, rounded to the closest year. So if I look at it, it will give me 22 years plus 11 months. So rounded off to the closest year, so therefore, it will give us 23 years. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's quickly move on to the next sum. In the next sum, I'm saying, Mandy was away from home for 78 hours. Determine the amount of days and hours she was away from home. So here, I would go by saying 78, and I'm going to type that in, divided by 24. So if I type that in, 78 divided by 24, I get an answer of 3,25. All right, so now I know this 3 represent the 3 days. So therefore, if I take the 3 days away, I'm left with 0,25. And remember, it must be days and hours. So therefore, I take the 0,25 and I multiply that by 24 because there are 24 hours in one day. So 0.25 multiplied by 24, that gives us an answer of 6. So therefore, Mandy was away from home for 3 days and 6 hours. I hope that makes sense. All right, the next sum, we are saying, Nico would like to visit his cousin in Bloemfontein. He, however, needs to travel 440 kilometers to get there. Calculate his travel time if he travels at an average speed of 115 kilometers per hour. Write your answer in hours, minutes, and seconds. Right, so here you may use the formula distance equals speed multiplied by time. Now learners, I want you to be careful here, even though it says you may use this formula, distance. Based on this formula here, we are calculating distance. But if you read the question carefully, what is it that we need to calculate? It says, calculate his traveling time. Now this part we call manipulation of the subject of the formula. So we are changing the subject. With the formula as is, distance is the subject of this formula, but actually we need time to be the subject of this formula. I hope that makes sense. So therefore I'm going to say time equals distance divided by speed. Can you see how I changed the formula? Distance is no longer the subject of the formula, but time is. Step 1 is my formula. Step 2, I'm going to substitute into this formula. So what is my distance? That is 440 kilometers. And what is my speed? Average speed here is 115 kilometers per hour. So now I will go and I type in 440 divided by 115 kilometers. So that should give us an answer of 3,82608 6,957 hours. But remember, our answer must be written in hours, minutes, as well as seconds. So far, it's only in hours. So therefore, I'm going to take the 3 away. That's 3 hours. Plus, what's left when I take the 3 hours away, I'll be left with 0,8260,86957. And I will multiply this by 60 to go now 2 minutes. All right, so minus 3 equals the 0,82, and then I multiply that by 60. So now we'll have an answer of 3 hours plus, once I simplify this part here, it will give me 49,5652,1739. Now remember, and I'm going to continue on here. So it's already 3 hours. Plus, now I'm going to take away the first 49 of this part here. So that will give you 49 minutes. All right, so after that, what is left now? If I take the 49 minutes away, I'm left with 0,56521739. Okay, and I'm going to multiply this by 60 as well, because now I'm converting into seconds. Minus the 49 minutes, so, and then I times by 60. So that should give you, if you complete this calculation here, it gives you 33, and that is seconds. So now I've answered my question completely. So all in all, it will take 3 hours, 49 minutes, and 33 seconds. All right, I hope that makes sense. All right, let us quickly move on to our next sum. If I look here, I have a calendar. That's for the month of February 2023. Questions at hand here says, refer to the calendar and answer the questions that follow. What percentage, this is the first question now, what percentage of the days in this particular month are weekends? Now remember, we said working days are Mondays to Fridays, so meaning weekends will be Saturday and Sunday. All in all, I have 28 days, right, in this month of February. So if I count out how many weekends, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So therefore, I will say equals 8 out of possible 28 days. Since I want a percentage, I will multiply that by 100. So I'm going to type in 8 divided by 28 multiplied by 100. That should give you now 28, 57142857, and remember, this is percentage. All right, second sum. Determine how many hours there are in this particular month. Remember, the month has 28 days. How many hours in a day? 24. So I'll say that multiply by 24 hours. So it's 28 multiplied by 24. So that will give us a total of 672, and that will be hours. All right, then let's move on. One last thing, it says here, study the extract of Nkosinathi June exam. This is a timetable now. Below, and answer the questions on the next slide. So there we have the days, we have the date, the subject, as well as the time allocation per subject. So looking at this, first question, write the time of the life orientation examination in 12-hour format. So now I look, life orientation, there's our life orientation, right? So it starts at 1400 and it goes all the way to 1530, right? So therefore, in our 12-hour format, okay, so that will be then from 2 p.m. up to 3:30 p.m. All right, I hope that is clear. Let's look at the next one. It says, a 25% increase in the English file paper 2 writing time was requested. What time would this exam paper end if the request were granted? All right, so now I'm looking at the English file. It's here, okay? So if I look, what is the total time? Total time is 120 minutes, meaning 2 hours, and they request a 25% increase. So therefore, what is 25% of 2 hours? So if you type that in, or you reason about it, you'll see that will be 0.5 hours, or we can say that will be 30 minutes. Remember, here we are asking, what time would this exam paper end? It would have ended at 11, so therefore this paper will now end at 11:30 because of that 30 minutes extra. Okay, and then the last question here, how many seconds will the 2 mathematical literacy papers be in total? So there's mathematical literacy, and it's the 2 papers, 2 hours and 2 hours. So the total will be 4 hours for the 2 papers combined, and it said how many seconds. So first I'm going to go from hours to minutes, and then from minutes into seconds. And remember our conversion factor there is 60. So I'll say 4 multiplied by 60, and that will give us equals 14,400 seconds. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Let us quickly break for a short comfort break. After the break, we'll have this whole lesson up. See you now.